Welcome back to the Mastering Runeterra podcast with Jay and Bay, the #1 source for competitive Legends of Runeterra news and information. If you're looking for the best decks to play right now, be sure to check us out on Twitter at Master Runeterra or in our Discord. And if you want to take the next step in leveling up your game, check out our Runeterra team on Patreon, where we do weekly learning calls and one-on-one coaching. Now strap in and grab yourself some Poro snacks, because we are about to start Mastering Runeterra.
Welcome back to the Mastering Runeterra podcast with Jay and Bay. We've got an episode for you guys today. Before we jump into everything, though, we want to thank all of our subscribers, all of our patrons. It's going to be a bit of a slog today. I'm not going to just right out of the gate. I just want you guys to know. I don't know what we're going to talk about today. I don't know what's going to happen. I've played a grand total of about 5 games of Legends of Runeterra since Worlds. We can maybe talk about that a little bit. And Bay's obviously played a bunch, so that's great. Wanted to also kind of say sorry about last week. We recorded a super sweet podcast with Ruben, which will the rest of it will come out on the 31st of January at the end of the month. But we had to censor a bunch of it because apparently we talked about things we weren't supposed to, kind of jump the shark a bit, which was too bad because they have some awesome stuff lined up for us. And I'm very excited for it to come out. But yeah, watch for that coming out on the 31st. And
I actually didn't watch the post-edited version, so I don't know what got cut out.
Let's just say everything after about 15 minutes in.
Oh man, that's all of it.
Yeah. We got about the first 15 minutes, and then we got about the last 3 minutes, and there's some bleeping, which is kind of funny because I really, you especially are like, man, I really can't wait till it's like beep 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 beep, and Ruben's like, yeah, everyone really wants the beep beep.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Well, I was wondering why people weren't blowing me up about this. I was like, why am I not getting hit up about this podcast episode? Why are people not in my stream talking about it all the time? Is this what's going on?
Why are people not freaking out about these amazing announcements?
That's so funny.
Now you know.
Now I know why. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is coming
31st.
Yeah, 31st. We're almost there. Speaking of which, we're almost at seasonals, which is wild. It doesn't, we were just talking about this off air, but it doesn't feel real to me. It doesn't feel like we're actually in a seasonal format and stuff is happening. This is the last seasonals also, which is kind of...
Period.
Yeah, which is weird, hey? End of an era.
It's not really a bittersweet moment because... what's coming ahead I'm much more excited about, which apparently we can't talk about.
What do you mean apparently? We very much cannot talk about it.
Very much cannot talk about it.
Some things have been revealed now. I'm not going to, let's just not touch on it in case we just get it wrong. But Ruben went on Alan's stream and revealed a little bit more. So there is a little bit more information out there now with the people. But yeah, let's just, we've signed some NDAs. Right, please don't sue us. So we'll just leave that for now. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. The winter break also, it went no season for Worlds, even though I got to play in Worlds. But I can only imagine people that didn't have to prepare or get to prepare or play in Worlds.
It's been a 4-month winter.
It's been the craziest winter. And then Riot goes away for a while. And then now we're back in January. And yeah, I just still haven't kind of clicked back in that it's all actually happening. Also, we're having our tournament this Saturday, of course. Please come out, support, love it. We're probably gonna be doing one of these every month. I think this year we're gonna run one of these bad boys, potentially with some new exciting additions to them that again we also cannot talk about. But fingers crossed that. Let's talk about this a little bit. We were talking about this off air. Majiin and I feel very much, I'm curious to get everyone else's thoughts down in the comments about kind of where the state of the game and stuff. We kind of feel like this is a bit of a make or break sort of year. I don't know if it is for the game so much, because I think the game can keep going. right?
The game will continue. Yeah.
Yeah. We're thinking more so for, I don't know, us, maybe other content creators, that it's just, like we were talking about how a lot of the content, like a lot of people are gone, Mogwai's gone. Swim's gone. He was
For
a big
reasons.
creator for better reasons. Fresh
Yeah, like
Lobster,
Fresh Lobster.
BBG.
A bunch of the competitors have moved on. Mhm.
Yeah. And it's hard to get people back, how about even like a lot of the people doing the casting, a lot of the people that were running tournaments, fight night, stuff like that. A lot of things have kind of just moved on. Mastering Runeterra is still holding strong.
Shout out Mastering Runeterra.
Yeah, but it's not great. It's not great to see, that the game feels like it has dwindled slowly and surely. Because I think coming in, I think a lot of people thought like us. I think a lot of people wanted to see it be like a better Magic the Gathering.
Yeah,
that's what I
think
wanted.
It is. I think it's a much better game.
The game is just strictly better, at least from a competitive standpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's man, when I go back and play Magic, it's like, yeah, like I'll like it for a little while, and then I'll get like mana screwed or mana flooded, or like or just like run into some cards that you just can't do anything about, and I'm just like, yeah, I gotta play some Runeterra now.
Yep. Runeterra is the only card game I can play that's not Flesh and Blood. Flesh and Blood removes so much RNG, and it's so like you have so much more agency that going to other card games feels really bad. Like I can't play Magic anymore. But going back to Runeterra feels fine. It's like one of the only ones that does, because you have so many decisions all the time.
Yeah.
Everything. So I still really enjoy Runeterra.
The game is fantastic. It's so good. And I think, a lot of us wanted to see it kind of blow up, be the next like Hearthstone when it first hit the scene. It was massive. So big. And I'm not exactly sure why that didn't happen. There was a lot of interesting decisions made. The game was not quite finished when it launched, which I think hurt it a little bit. I heard a lot of people saying they came into the beta, like yourself, right? I think you tried it out in beta and were kind of like,
bounced off.
Yeah. And so that was one thing that kind of hurt it. And then like, the different kind of changing of directions, kind of lack of communication has been rough. And then also we wanted like a pro tour or a pro scene, which is asking a lot, but like the seasonals into Worlds was like pretty significant.
It's pretty good.
$60,000, or it was 80,000 when we had 4 shards, every other month in prizing for a free tournament, culminating in a $200,000 prize pool for Worlds at the end. Was like, that's pretty substantial. I was
pretty happy with the competitive.
It's a pretty big chunk of money. But yeah, it seems like from the outside looking in, there's been a lack of kind of leadership at the top. Maybe that's the wrong word to use, or vision might be the better word, of seeing like what it could possibly be and then tying all those pieces together to make that happen. And like, if you think back with like, there used to be, it seemed that they were trying a lot of things. It was a lot of experimentation. So like labs was a thing for a long time. And they tried, 2 versus 2 mode. And we had Highlander for a bit. And, Path of Champions became the kind of like the focus or the shift for a while. And so like, it just seems like the game has kind of like gone through a lot of different iterations of itself. Now this one that we're about to see is a lot more in line with what we kind of wanted to see originally, which is a much more inclusive kind of organized play system, which I don't know why we wouldn't have that from the beginning, frankly, but that's exciting. That's a big step, I think, in the right direction. I think we're having people playing the game a lot more interaction with sort of what's coming. But yeah, like I feel like I, as a player and as someone who has staked, part of their career on the game, I feel like I need to see some real growth and like change in a positive direction this year, which I got to say I'm pretty optimistic about. From the things that we have been shared with us that we're privy to, it looks like it's going in a good direction. But fool me 3 times, shame on me.
I am more optimistic with the plans that have been laid out than I have been ever.
Yeah.
With the game. So take that how you will. But yeah, I'm very excited about it. Although I agree with you. Like if we have this year and it kind of craps out, right? It just doesn't come together. Things don't really work. They pivot again halfway through the year and decide, nah, this isn't really what we want to do. Then yeah, that's rough. That's going to be like strike 3 for a lot of people. Again, not like I'm never going to say the game is dying, because the game is not dying. Like the game will be fine. The game will continue. It's a really good game. A lot of people just like jump on their phone once a day and play it. Those are not the people I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people who are like hardcore competitors. I'm talking about the people who make content, right? Like those kind of people. If it feels a little too not hectic, but you know what I mean? Feels a little volatile, too volatile. It does this, and then it does this, and then it drops this, and it does this. Then that's not a great spot to be for either serious competitors or content creators. And I'm worried that we will lose more people. But again, I'm usually the pessimistic one, and I'm very optimistic. So I like what we've been told. I think not only is it something I'm really excited to see, I'm really excited to participate in, it's very feasible.
Yeah, it's right there. Like it's always felt like it was right there. Like they just need to reach out and grab it. Because we have this new organized play ecosystem coming. Huge thumbs up. And then what do we need? We need some and we have rotation. I forgot about rotation. That's pretty exciting to me. And then what? They just knock it out of the park with some new cards, card types, some stuff to get excited, new champions and stuff. I'm
maybe buff Rise. I don't know.
We're kind of there. Just theoretically buff Rise, yeah.
Yeah.
Just throwing stuff out there. Yeah, we are a little bit in the lull still. We are still in the winter of last year and the break, and a lot of all that stuff is from sort of a lot of the previous team, a lot of decisions that were made a solid year or year and a half ago that have now transpired. So yeah, and you know what? We've seen a lot of good things too. We've seen Worlds was so much better this year, the way that it was run, the casting, they had everyone together, the hot fixes that we just had. It really seems like they're kind of figuring it out, and they're making some smarter decisions, and ones that the player base have really rallied behind. I've seen people on Twitter talking about how nice it is that everyone's talking nicely about the devs and treating them better, and the devs are kind of posting more stuff on Twitter and being more active in the community, because it got super hostile there for a while. I'm sure for them. And so, the reason I think we're seeing that is because people are really happy with the decisions that they've been making lately. They've been doing a very good job. I think they have the right people, or a lot more of the right people that they need in the right roles. And I think we're starting to see the fallout from that. We're starting to see the results from that. And it takes time, And so, yeah, I'm kind of just waiting. I want everyone else to know about this, all these changes that are coming. I want that to happen. Communication, right, could still keep being better. Seems like they're trying though. They had Ruben come on the podcast, and then he went on Alan's stream and stuff. That's a great start. I think keep on doing that. I don't know why they wait to announce things. It's strange to me, because I want to get hyped about stuff, and I think the community would get hyped about this. I think it's just a different strategy. I think when it comes to communication, I think that's what it is. Yeah. It's just and to be fair, there are pluses and minuses to both, to waiting or to announcing things and making everyone wait for them to come into fruition. I also wanted to say, as we're talking about things kind of ebbing and flowing to be better or worse, people have been saying that Magic is dying for 20 fucking years, for so long. Every decision they make, that's it. Magic is dead. Magic is dying. It's over. And it's been dying for so long. It's never going to die. And Magic has gone through times where, like, when it first came out, those first, like, I don't know, 10 years or something before I played, there was like huge tournaments everywhere, and like there was tournament organizers and there was websites. All that stuff died. None of that survived, like, I don't know, for long. And then, like, when I joined, it was in a huge lull. I joined when there was, like, if anyone knows this, like Urza's Destiny, where there was like this combo winter. They basically, if anyone doesn't know, they printed all these cards that were just busted, just crazy powerful. And so they had to ban a bunch of them, and it was a bit of a nightmare. And so, like, I don't know, people fell off. The game was like in a big lull. And then, you know, like, things kind of went up and down and up and down and up and down for a long time. Magic Online came out at some point. It was really good, and then it wasn't, and then it was better, and then it was worse. And then Hearthstone came out and totally kicked their butts. And then a million years later, Arena came out, and that's been like a pretty big success eventually. And they've like printed a crazy amount of money. They still get so much flack because they're like just gouging people, absolutely gouging people for money. But guess what? They got a good product, and they give the people what they want. And so, like, game's still booming. They screwed over organized play. They screwed over the competitors like crazy, like massive crazy. We've talked about this a million times. Came to the point where all the world's competitors had to write to like the head of WotC and be like, "What the hell? Like, you screwed us. We were told we were going to get more money." Sure enough, each one of them got 50 grand. Bam.
Where are you going with this?
I'm just saying it's still early days. And
Okay.
and so, like, so we all those people that were like, "Oh, they're gone. You know, all these content creators are gone, and like maybe we'll be gone." But like that happened in Magic too. Magic kept going. So
Yeah.
I think we maybe think we're more important than we are. I didn't really have a point to that. I'm just saying it's not the end of the game and stuff.
Okay.
Things
Well,
keep going.
let's talk a little bit about the game.
Fine.
So I have been playing quite a bit. I know you haven't really been, but my big struggle has been to push to 7-2 tiebreakers, which basically means functionally I need about 600 LP, maybe a little bit more. And I was basically stuck somewhere between 0 and 100 for about 3-4 days. I just could not string wins together. Decided to play a deck that I felt like I just picked a deck that felt strong, but like that I wasn't quite like I just almost was winning, but like wasn't. And that was Kane Aatrox. Fiddled with the list a bunch and then ran it up. I played Kane Aatrox and a little bit of like this all-in Katarina Gwen deck that I'll talk about in a second. But I played those two decks to 500 and like something LP, like 530 LP in like 3 days, from 0 to like 530.
It's a lot of LP.
It's a lot of LP. Now, unfortunately, today I lost like 250 of it on stream. But
when you ran it up, was that also on stream or no?
Both on and off stream. Yeah.
Okay.
I was just like crushing. Playing mostly this Kane Aatrox deck with I think it's very good. I think you need to be prepared for it. I expect it to be included in a lot of lineups and seasonals. It's pretty close to 100% going to be in my lineup unless something really weird happens. I think it's just a super, super strong deck without a lot of weaknesses. The other deck I was using is this Katarina Gwen deck, which is going to be posted on my YouTube channel probably by the time this comes up. And it's like a Katarina Gwen deck, but it plays the foyer, the opulent foyer, or foyer or whatever, I don't know, the landmark, the 3-mana one that makes the 2/1, the Ghastly Band every time it's your attack token, right? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It runs 3 of them instead of like the traditional 0 to 1. It cuts Harrowing, it cuts like the Ruin Reckoners, it cuts all that kind of mid-rangey stuff. And it's just like the early game hollowed units, Katarina Gwen, 3 Eternal Dancers, the foyer, and then a bunch of spells. You play 3 Mark of the Isles, the 1 mana +2/+2 ephemeral to make sure your Katarina lives. You play 3 copies of Might, and you play 2 copies of Shimpo. Because anytime you replay leveled Katarina or you cast Shimpo, you get the 2/1s back from Opulent Foyer.
Oh.
You can do it again. And I'm just slaughtering people with this
I
deck.
saw Jason Stational's tweet where he just had, like, it was like 12 wins or 15 wins or something. He's just like, the way to climb, don't lose.
I think that was Katarina Yasuo, but Katarina's really, really good right now, which is really annoying. I was pretty big on like people were whining about Katarina being unplayable, and I was like, please, dear God, don't buff her. You don't want Katarina to be tier 1 and be miserable, and now she's tier 1 and it's miserable. It sucks.
It's not that miserable. It's like kind of annoying.
It's pretty miserable. It kind of sucks. The decks that play Katarina, like when they don't have her on 3 or whatever, it's like it's fine. But when your opponent plays Katarina on 3 and you look down at your hand and you're like, well, I can't kill her, you just like lose a lot of times. And that feels pretty poopy. I don't like that very much. It is what it is. But yeah, so that deck I've been playing to pretty high levels of success. Obviously the Kane Aatrox deck. I think Lulu Jinx is still really good, but the other like kind of dark horse that's been popping up, putting up some serious results is Plunder. Plunder's doing pretty incredibly right now.
Why is that?
It's just good. Unleash Spirits is a really strong card. And the deck is just really good. It's always been really good, right? Like Plunder's been always good for a pretty long time now. The deck's just strong. It curves out well. Thanks to things like Mirai Warden. It doesn't take early damage. It has a lot of early pressure as it sets up its champions. And then like the Sejuani lock is real against a lot of decks, and Gangplank blows out the rest. Right? So Plunder also, if they just start on the attack token, the deck is just so strong. It's kind of like Lurk. Right? If they just win the coin flip, then you're in trouble. And then against the decks that would take advantage of Plunder by running them out of resources, Unleash Spirits comes in and kind of shores up that angle. Now, all your pink spells don't hit anything in the deck anymore, right? Your Vile Feast, your Poké Sticks, they don't do shit. And the deck just kind of taxes you out of resources that way. So very strong deck right now.
Interesting. Okay, I want to put you to the test. This Saturday, it's tournament. Go play in it, by the way. What's the most winning deck? What deck puts up the most copies in the top 8? Wow,
I'm going to say.
Surprised. I'm surprised. Okay, go.
I'm going to say it's Talia Ziggs.
Ziggs.
And I think it's Talia Ziggs because a lot of the top players that I'm talking to really like the deck. They're really high on the deck.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What about number 2?
It's going to be Lulu Jinx. 3 is Kane Aatrox. That's my guess.
So Lulu Jinx is 2?
Yeah.
And Kane Aatrox. I don't know why I'm writing this down. We literally have it recording. Kane Aatrox for my own fun. Kane Aatrox is number 3. Okay. I'll give you one shot. What's the winning lineup?
I'm just going to pick my lineup because I think that'd be funny.
Okay.
Lulu Jinx, Kane Aatrox, Red Gwen.
Okay. All right. Come back to it next week. See how accurate you are. How accurate your prediction is. It is a slightly different tournament than a seasonals because there are significantly less players. The average skill rate level of the player is much higher than at seasonals. Metagaming works a lot better, etc.
People are going to be looking to try things out, whereas a lot of times they'll revert back to, instead of playing this wacky third deck, they just play Lulu Jinx or Kane Aatrox or whatever. Something tried and tested.
Yeah. What about real quick as we're kind of wrapping things up here. So you said you've been doing a lot of ladder climbing. What do you think right now? Yeah, what's the hotness for someone like someone's name who rhymes with like Hassan Laurent or something that is currently probably in platinum? What would you recommend to climb with?
Lulu Jinx, Kane Aatrox, or the more aggressive degenerate Red Gwen version are the ones I would give to anybody to climb right now. I think those decks are super, super powerful. If you have experience on it, which you do, Plunder. It's supposed to be really good. So,
what about Jason Sensational crushing with his favorite Yaz deck?
I don't like that deck. It runs out of cards so often.
Yeah, I know that's a big no-no for you. Mm-hmm. Scouts, aggro, decks that run out of cards. Can't do it. Can't lose this way.
Nope. It makes me feel bad.
Gotta lose with 9 cards in hand. Be like, it's fine.
Exactly. I feel bad that way.
It was totally fine, yeah. Because you probably had a line somewhere.
Yep. So, I meant I could have done something different. Yep. I was talking to some friends, and one of them sent like a GIF of like Uno Draw 4 because we were talking about like Lorcana. And I'm like, what region are you gonna play or whatever? And I was like, whichever one lets me cast spells and draw cards. And then they sent a GIF of like the Uno Draw 4, and I was like, I actually don't like to play Uno because when I'm getting close to running out of cards, I get sad. And so it's like it takes all the fun out of playing a card game for me because what I like to do the most is actively punished.
That's so funny. I actually feel the exact same way. I hit them with a draw 4. I feel jealous.
I'm like, damn.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck, look at you with all these cards. How lucky.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Good stuff. Okay, yeah, so we'll wrap it up here. Another short one this week. Next week, probably be a little bit longer. We'll dive into some preparation for seasonals, lineups, everything. We also have our merch store is going to be popping off real quick, sometime between now and when it launches, because I honestly don't know. But it's real close to being done. Hopefully by this Saturday, if not almost for sure by the next time, the next podcast. So look out for that. We got some really cool stuff, all kinds of different designs, and we're going to be adding more stuff every month. It's something we've been working on for a really long time. So yeah, keep a lookout. That's it for us for this week. Thank you guys again for hanging with us. We appreciate you. Take care of yourselves.